Preparing to be live. Let me check my Facebook.
All right, let's knock this out. I'm excited about this. Let's do it.
Yes, we are live.
All right,
Hello,
nice.
everybody. Hi, guys. My name is Marianne, and we are again here for the episode number 2 of the 10K series. Just like I told you guys, this month of May, I'm going to interview a series of inspiring entrepreneur to teach you tips and tricks on how you could be able to reach 10K or more in the online space. And today we have a very exciting guest today. We have my mentor who's teaching me a lot of things in the online space to become a real business owner. We have here George. Hi, George. Thank you so much for joining us here in this live.
Hello, hi. Thank you so much for having me, Marianne. It's definitely a pleasure and an honor to be here. I admire your work a lot and what you do for your team. So I'm excited to be here, Marianne. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you so much. And where are you coming from right now? So that everybody
I
knows.
am in Los Cabos, Mexico. I love it here. Have you ever been?
Wow. No, never been.
You want to check it out, Los Cabos.
I do have the magnet, Los Cabos, Mexico, but
Yeah,
I
that's a
just
sign. Any magnet I have, I have to visit that place. Like they
okay,
gave
I
me an
mean,
Amsterdam magnet, so
mm.
it's up the top right because that's my next stop.
Oh,
Yeah, don't
nice,
give me a
nice.
magnet unless you want me to go check it out.
Okay, sounds good. I will
Yeah,
definitely go to Los Cabos because it's
there
one of
you
my
go.
magnets.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
All right, so today we're just gonna ask you a series of questions to let my the people that's watching in my page like, because they wanted to know, like, how to be able to get to that 10K or more in the online
Good.
space. So that's why I created this 10K series.
That's
So
awesome.
our first question for today is, what were you doing before you made your first 10K online, and what finally made you go all in?
Well, first of all, I didn't even have my goal was to just make $1,000. I didn't know I was going to make 10K. 10K for me at that time was for like rich people, movie stars, actors. I was born in Mexico, grew up in a humble family, right? Single family home. My mother, immigrant family in the United States. So 10K, six figures, it just it sounded like, far fetched.
Mhm.
So what I did, I was working in Mexico at a call center making like around 240, $250 a month.
Mhm.
Well, you know how they pay in the Philippines? Same thing in Mexico. It's like $200 a month, $300 a month, right? And I did what everybody else does at that moment because I speak English. I wanted to earn dollars. I went on Google how to make money online, right? How to make money. I figured I could do something over the phone, something, but everything kept pointing to social media marketing. And
Mhm.
this was 8 years ago, though, Marianne, almost 9 years ago. So this is before COVID and all of that. So it was social media marketing, social media marketing. I didn't even have an Instagram account. So I opened all this up to see how to make the money. And I came across an affiliate marketing program, right? Came across an affiliate marketing program. I didn't have the money. I asked money from my uncles, my aunt. I didn't even have my own place at the time. I was sleeping over at my aunt's house and sharing a bed with my 26-year-old cousin. I was doing really bad at this time. That's where they say all successful stories start at a rock bottom. I was at a
Right.
rock bottom. And there's no way, it cost me a little under $2,000 to join. But I asked all the family members everything. I put my little checks away, sold my motorcycle. I had a motorcycle for like $500.
Mhm.
And I went in on this affiliate marketing program. It only took me a week to make my first $1,000. By the end of the month, I was at $3,000. Keep in mind, I only make $240 to $250 a month.
A
It would
month.
have took me an entire year to do what I did in my first 30 days. So as you could assume, I just threw everything out the window. I quit my job, I quit everything. I was like, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. I was going for $1,000. I was like, if I can make $1,000, and I made three my first month. It took me around half a year to cross $10,000 a month. But by then I was already in Cancun. I already had made, $3,000 a month here, 4,000 here, whatnot. 6 months later into the affiliate marketing program, I crossed my first $10,000 a month. But it wasn't full-time online. I'd be lying if I said that. I got a job in timeshare. So I made, like 6,000, 6,000, 7,000 online. Then I made 3,000 with my 9 to 5, and I finally had hit that $10,000 a month. I didn't even have the idea. The social media gives you that idea, right?
Yeah,
So that was
correct.
my goal, 10K, 10. Oh, this your podcast here is called 10K.
Yeah.
So it's good because you plant the seed and you don't even know what you're doing.
Hmm.
If it wasn't for people like you saying go to 10K, I never would even have that goal.
Exactly.
That
By
that goal was
planting
too
the
big,
seeds,
right?
yeah.
So people like you saying 10K, make 10K, 10K, it kind of went in my subconscious mind, and that was my only goal. It took me half a year, but I did it. 2 years later, I'm at $20,000 a month. 3 years into it, $30,000 a month, and we went on and on and on and on, right, to the millions. But that's how it started. A little $240 a month job, asking family members for a loan, how to finance that, and had no clue what I was doing. I just listened to my mentor, and
Hmm.
it took me half a year to see, the 10K.
Hmm.
But it was the best decision I've ever made, and I'm glad that I did it out of desperation. I didn't know what I was doing. I did it out of desperation. I was confused. I was just scared. I didn't have money because I have children. So imagine
Correct.
$240 a month, and you have children in the States.
Oh, wow.
So
It
yeah,
is
so
that.
my ex-wife, the mother of my children at the time, she didn't want nothing to do with me because I couldn't pay anything.
Yeah.
So social media and online marketing saved my life, changed my life, and it now made me who I am now, right? A business mentor. But that was my first 10K. Took half a year.
Wow. Half a year. But then, you went through that. You didn't have a clue what you're gonna do with this because out of desperation, but you made it happen, right?
Right. So it was definitely God. It was God. So if you're watching this and somebody, put people like Marianne in front of you, God put Marianne in front of you, somebody like me, it's not a coincidence, right? I
Mhm.
don't think that people that are not aligned with bigger goals, bigger dreams, bigger money, I don't think they would see opportunities like this. I think if you're
Correct.
watching a show like Marianne's for 10K, you're supposed to move forward. That's what I
Correct.
did. That's what I figured. I was like, why would I be in front of these mentors and
Yeah.
this and that? It's like it was either cross that line, right, and find out because you're basically stepping into the dark, or keep your $240 a month job.
Correct. Exactly.
So
And
for
you
me, it
made the
was
right
like,
choice.
yeah, it's
You made
like
the
just
right choice.
jump into the unknown. If it's in front of you, it's for a reason.
Correct. It is for a reason. Thank you for that. So our second question
All right.
is, I think you already kind of answered it because you said it was in the social media. Was it it was the first offer that brought you the real revenue was the social media, the first product, right?
Mm, I that was my first real product for me, yeah. But I did join MLMs and crypto. This is
Mm-hmm.
back when crypto. I joined Bitcoin at $700, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even have enough for the whole Bitcoin. So
Mm-hmm.
it was seven
That's
hundred
fair.
dollars back then in 2017, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined these little bring two, and you get
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin and SAR Fund, I think it was
Oh,
called.
wow.
And
Okay.
I joined things like that 8 years ago. I lost all my money. Company went out the
Mm-hmm.
business. But I didn't join it. It was like my uncle or my
Okay.
cousin or like, hey, do this. I wasn't really in the business. They were
Okay.
just showing me, look, I made money. So I put
Mm-hmm.
my money in and then I lost my money. And then my
Correct.
cousin, look, I made money over here. And then I
Yeah.
put my money in and I lost. It wasn't a lot, but a hundred
Mm-hmm.
dollars to me, $200 to me was a month's salary, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Correct.
So I did try little MLMs and moves here, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't conscious or aware of what I was doing. The first time that I was really aware was with affiliate marketing, and it was in high ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I did that was because look, if the little $100 thing's not working, the $200 investment thing's not working, going with your cousins and your uncles is not working,
Mm-hmm.
go with these $1,000 products, $2,000 products, high ticket stuff. And that's the worst to even consider because imagine who thinks like that. If I
Mm-hmm.
didn't win at $100, if I didn't win at $200, I can't afford any of it. Why would you
Correct.
even consider jumping into the high ticket space?
Correct. Exactly.
But I did it, and it paid off.
And it paid off, right? So that's a good risk. I guess you could say it's a good
It is
risk.
a good risk. Yeah. You know why I did it? It was my last hoorah. It was like my last chance. Like if I already lost at the crypto, I already lost at the forex, I already lost in the little MLMs and the
Mm-hmm.
pyramids and the I'm gonna lose big. I'm gonna ask money from my mom, my
Yeah.
uncles, my cousin. Remember, I lost Bitcoin with you. Remember, is that if I'm gonna lose,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look bad in front of everybody. I was mad
Yeah.
at the world. I was like,
Yeah.
and I'm not paying anybody back. So I
Yeah.
was like, and I took the risk, not knowing how I was gonna, because there was no way I could pay back fifteen hundred
Exactly.
dollars. It would have took me 3 years with what I was doing to pay that back. So it's like I'm borrowing everyone's money. We're
Yeah.
going all in on this, and if I lose, it's your fault. I don't know. I was just angry,
Yeah.
and I did not lose. I paid that money back within 8 days of getting involved, and then now I'm the person that made the most money in the family. So extremely
That's
grateful for that.
amazing. I think that's really good. That's really good. That's amazing. And again, I think it's the energy that you went go all in, even though you don't know yet what was going to happen. But you were
Absolutely.
like, okay, I'm gonna go home or go big. You're like, I'm putting all my energy to this.
Absolutely. I love that. I never looked at it like that. And you know what? I think that's been my secret to life the whole time. I think that's why I
Yeah.
love boxing and I like sports where you could die. It's like, why? I'm forced to win. It's like I like businesses where you can like really lose it all. Why? I'm forced
Yeah,
to win. Like
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
like I don't like being soft because it's dangerous to me. Again, the $100 thing, the $200 thing, it was small and I lost. The minute
Hmm.
I got into thousands of dollars in high ticket, I became number one. It's like I
Exactly.
like I like the high stakes.
The high stakes. So
Yeah,
guys, you're listening. Sometimes you gotta put the high stakes, and you
absolutely.
put the go all in energy. So our
All
next
right.
question, because I know a lot of people, they've been in the online space. Like for me, I know we jump in so many things, like you just said, from one place to
Yeah,
another project to try to find, I think some people are saying finding the one, the one.
right.
I don't know what's that the one. But I think what's really missing is that mindset. Mindset, they always say it's really important. But when you went into this space, what was that mind shift that you have that has to happen before you could make that money?
I don't know if a lot of people could have this, but for me was I either do it or I die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta think it's different for me though, Marianne, because I'm very grateful that I'm one of those kids, right, that
Mm-hmm.
was always in trouble and whatnot. Because a lot of people they've never suffered enough,
Mm-hmm.
they're a little too comfortable, so they're weak.
Mm-hmm.
This is why they don't have money. They're too weak. They're soft.
Mm-hmm.
They're not willing to fight for it. They're not willing to scratch. They're not willing to bring out the claws. Like they're just not willing to do it. And there's no MLM that can help you. There's no affiliate that can help you. There's no high ticket that can help. You're just too soft, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, my mindset was it's either this or I die in the middle of it. Like I'm gonna call everyone. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
knock on every door. You're gonna have to prove to me that I made a mistake, but I'm not going to quit and I'm not just going
Mm-hmm.
to back off. The world will have to prove to me, show me in my face that I made the wrong decision. Show me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking this to the very end. And that type of attitude is hard to lose, Marianne.
Hard to lose. Okay, okay. So I guess that's the mindset that you have to go there.
Yeah, yeah, because I don't have enough money for another. This is the thing. I don't have enough money for another project. I don't have enough
Correct.
money for another MLM. I don't have enough money for another affiliate. So it's this or nothing. Most
Mm-hmm.
people are so comfortable they'll just pay for another MLM. Like
Correct,
you didn't
correct.
make the last one work, you're not gonna make this one work. Why? It's you. It's not the
I think,
product.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not the
You are right.
company. You're soft, right? And
Correct.
then
You are right.
that's it. So I didn't have the money to try it again, and when you're down to your last little bite and you're between savor that little bite or starve to death, it's like you're gonna bite the
You're
heck out of it.
gonna do
You're gonna
something.
do right, you're gonna savor everything. I just feel like I got all the juice out of that opportunity that I could. But that was the mindset. It was I don't have money for another opportunity. I don't have the confidence for another
Mhm.
opportunity because my mom, I would have looked bad in front of my mom. I'd have looked bad
Mhm.
in front of my uncle. I would have looked bad in front of my children. I would have looked bad in front of my grandma, my aunts. I would have looked bad in front of me. Most people are okay with that. Those
Mhm.
people to me are just losers all the way. Like if you're okay
Mhm.
with looking bad in front of your parents, looking bad, like and just quitting and just going
Mhm.
somewhere else, I don't think they have what it takes to win at anything. They got to stick to
Mhm.
somebody telling them what to do, how much they're worth, what time they got to wake up, what time to go to sleep. Why? You don't have enough to set
The
your own
amps
rule.
that they
Yeah,
said
you
that
don't have it. You don't
the
have that
grit,
umph.
right? That they said you have to have
Yeah,
the
you
grit.
don't have
To,
it.
mhm.
Right, right. So that's what I would say. That's what I would say was the mindset that it's do or die. It's do
Do
or
or
die.
die,
It's
guys.
do or die.
Hashtag do or die.
That's it. Do or die. There was
Do
no
or
other way.
die. That's true. That's true. Actually, sometimes, when we are just comfortable, and doesn't matter, like, sometimes it's just a band-aid when we move from one thing to another. And because I have went through to that phase, where
Yeah.
I especially when I started the online space, oh, this one didn't work. So then I said, oh, maybe this one, because you just feel comfortable and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe never mind. I'm just gonna go back to my teaching job, you know?
Right. It happens to everybody. I actually, I have one of my clients, his name is Cody. I told him when we first started, because he didn't have the full amount, right? And he felt embarrassed about that. For me, I was happy about that. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I love working with people that don't have the full amount. They have to
Mm-hmm.
finance, they have to take risks, they got to take
Mm-hmm.
out loans. They're back against the wall. When a
Mm-hmm.
person can afford it, they usually quit.
Correct.
When a person can afford the next opportunity, they just buy the next one.
Mm-hmm.
When
That's
a person can afford to be broke, they stay broke.
mm-hmm.
I was at a point where I couldn't afford it no more.
Correct.
Right. So for me, and I think, for me, pain and suffering was my biggest blessing. And I wish that more people will go through the suffering. I wish more people will go through the pain. I wish more people will lose their money in a way where they realize this isn't a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I know people they invested 10, 20, $30,000 online. They still can't cross the $10,000 mark. And
Correct.
it's like, how is that when there's other people that only invested $300 and they're making $100,000 a month? See, that has nothing to do with being smart. That's just will,
Mm-hmm.
determination, commitment,
Determination.
grit,
The
right?
grit, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I love when people are like their back is against the wall, they're crying, they don't have the money, they're fed up, and and they feel embarrassed. Like, man, look, hey, look, I'm just going through it. Blah blah. That's the person I want to help.
Correct.
All the other
Correct.
ones that I know what I'm doing, blah 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 blah. I could care
No,
less because I know
it's
they're gonna
never gonna
fail.
work. Yeah,
I know they're gonna fail. They're a little too weak. But
exactly.
I hope I answered the question. It's the do or die mindset.
Do
And I
or
think
die. Yeah.
everybody that has the Ferraris and the Lambos, I think every single one of us has that do or die mindset.
Oh, correct. Yeah, we do all. I think it's just a matter like how you can move past that and then see the do or die. Like you said, like, okay, if you truly are fed up with your situation, you already invested. It's just the matter of time that you're like, okay, I'm gonna put my effort here, like my all
Right.
in, the
And
all
it has to do
in.
with self love. Like
Yeah.
I know I look at my dark side of stuff, my dark side of life a lot, and the pain and the suffering. But the real key to success is self love. I love
Mhm.
myself enough to not invest money and just lose it.
Mhm.
I'm not doing
Correct,
that.
correct,
Like I'm not going to disrespect myself like that. I love myself enough to see this all the way through. It's an
correct.
identity shift, right?
Mhm.
Like I know I'm a winner, right? Instead
Mhm.
of feeling like the victim, instead of blaming
Correct.
it on the product, instead of blaming it on the coaching,
Mhm.
instead of blaming it on the mentor, I was like, no, no, no. I love myself too much to lie to myself like that. I'm gonna see this
Correct.
all the way through.
Yeah, I think that's true. You are right. Also, the self-love is very important, right? Because if
Absolutely.
you don't love
Self-respect.
yourself, and self-respect, then you're just gonna keep staying in that victim mode. Like, always like, oh, it didn't work because of that thing, the product didn't work.
Right. It didn't work because of that product. It didn't work because the back office. It didn't work because the coach. How many people did you call and make it work?
You're
Right.
right.
Called zero. You called zero. It's like it wasn't the back
Exactly.
office. It wasn't the product. It was none of it. You are soft.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like allergic to the weak people. I'm like, get out of here. Like
Yeah.
I said, I rather a person that's struggling, crawling on the floor that keeps going. I'll take that person to 100K easy than,
Correct.
the comfortable people that are crybabies and all. I can't deal with
No,
that.
no, we cannot do that. Don't be a
Yeah.
crybaby.
Yeah, yeah. The crybaby, the victim mindset, it's the product, it's the company, it's because my upline. Oh, geez.
No,
It's
no,
like, what do you think this is? Burger King?
just like they say in life, you are responsible of what your action is. Everything that happens to you is your full responsibility.
All of it. And when you see that's what I'm saying. But you can't assume full responsibility unless you have self-love. When you
Correct.
love yourself, you understand you made that decision, you
Mm-hmm.
invested the money, you decided to say yes, you decided to start. Fucking finish.
Correct, correct.
Finish, right?
Finish,
So
guys.
it has to do with just respecting yourself and loving yourself more so than business, right? Because before you even get into the business mindset, you got to respect yourself. You got to see yourself as a winner. You got to know that you're committed. You got to go into it, right? And you got
Correct.
to be willing to fight anybody that stands in your way, any problem, any situation. You got to be willing to be a bulldozer and go through that because it's going to happen. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
see the barriers, the wall's going to come up. There's going to be some suffering. You got to be able to get through that.
Correct, correct. All right. So thank you so much for that valuable take in terms of the mindset, the do or die. I hope you guys are getting some value. And maybe you're seeing yourself as like maybe that person right now. Now you know that's what it takes to
Right.
even make it into the online store or anything in general in life itself. That's what it takes. If you're stuck into something right now, in like it feels like it's just a loop, that's the mindset that you have to be in. It's either do or die. Like you have to be grit to have a grit and self-love and self-respect is very important, guys. So let's spill the tea. So in your road to 10K, I
Mhm.
know some people sometimes gives lots of strategy. They know like the online space is too much strategy. They do this, do that to be able to make 10K. So was there somebody like there's somebody that told you something to do like a strategy or something to get to 10K, but it didn't work?
It didn't work? No. I just told you. The only thing that didn't work out here, the only ones I already told you the ones that didn't work. Anything that's small ticket, anything
Yeah.
that you're dealing with baby money, anything that you're dealing with bring to
Mhm.
crypto, it didn't work for me.
Mhm.
I wasn't in a now I know how it would work. You better already have a team of 100. You better already be into leadership. You better already be branded, right? For anything like that to work. If you're just starting from zero, for you to go from zero to something big when your commissions are only 100 to 200 bucks and you got and your business growth depends on two that bring two, you're years away from seeing anything. So the things that didn't work for me is the small money. The
Mhm.
things that worked for me is high ticket. Why? Even if I sucked all month because I was new
Mhm.
and I didn't know what I was doing and I have no clue on what's going on, but I had a mentor and I had a team, and as long as they bought, I still made $1,000. So it's
Okay.
like whether you're making 1,000 or 2,000 bucks on a person, it's like one sale, I made more than 90% of the people in the online space,
All right. All
right?
right. Mhm.
So for me, the formula that didn't work was anything that had to do with small money, with small commissions, and I was told that I was gonna like make money off of other people's effort.
Mhm.
But now that we're adults, we realize that that's impossible. You will always it will always depend on your efforts. I don't care if you're in multi-level marketing,
Mhm.
if you're in affiliate marketing, high ticket, low ticket. It is all dependent on your efforts. How big you can make your team, how crystal clear you can get the vision
Mhm.
across. If everybody understands the mission, your leadership level, it's gonna depend on you. So when you don't have the money, you don't have the brand, you don't have the experience, starting at these little $50, $100 commissions, you ain't gonna make nothing. Because think about it, you got to sell 10, 20 people, right? There's only 30 days in a month. You got to basically sell every single day if you take out the days you take off.
Mhm.
And you're still not even at $1,000. So how would that encourage you or motivate you to go to that 10K? It's not. You're actually gonna get lost. You're gonna get confused. You're
True,
like,
true.
what the hell is going on here? For me,
Correct,
I knew
correct.
as long as I made one sale a week, I'm looking at $4,000 or $5,000.
Oh
So
wow.
even if
Yeah.
I spent
Mhm.
all 7 days just talking
Mhm.
to 30 strangers every day for 7 days, right, over 200 people, even if every single one said no except for one, I still
Already.
was making over $50,000 a year. I went from $240 a month to over $50,000 a year just with one sale a week.
That's really good. Yeah. So that would be like, I guess what you were saying that what didn't work really is the small ticket, like
Yeah.
sometimes having the effort, like you depending on your team to do something, like, like just
Because I didn't
waiting
have the
for other people.
leadership, right? If you
Yeah.
don't have the leadership to get your team rolling, what are you going to do? Blame it on him. Oh, you didn't make sales today, so I didn't make
Mm.
money. No, no, no. You don't have the leadership. You don't
Yeah.
have the brand. You don't have the
Mm.
stability. You don't have the
Correct.
systems. You don't have the infrastructure.
Mhm.
You cannot lead a team yet. So this whole you're going to get paid by the size of the team you put together. Well, what if I don't have that leadership ability? What if
Mhm.
I'm not there yet? What if I'm just a person that just needs to make a paycheck? High ticket was the way for me because I
The
just
high
needed to
ticket.
make one
Yeah,
sale,
for sure. Yeah. One
right?
sale. Yeah.
Yeah,
One
so
sale
that
only
that
and
was
you've
it,
already made $5,000. That's
right?
makes a big difference in all the effort, right? Trying to get 10, 30 sales.
That's the thing, because look, even after the 1030 sales, now I got to train them and teach them. I'm not no damn leader yet. It's like my first few months in the online space. What do you mean I got to teach them all this and that, and I got to
Yeah.
be a step into leadership and guide them and do
Mhm.
marketing with them? I was just here for a paycheck. I wasn't signing up for all of that, right? But
Mhm.
that's what it takes at the small ticket stuff. You
To be
got to
the
be able
leader.
to teach others. You got to be able to
Mhm.
put together a team. You got to be able to have everyone on the same frequency, have everyone on the same mission. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure you all go out there and attack at the same time. You know, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So if it's your first year or two, why would I want to step into that? That's a lot of
Correct, correct.
work for
Mm-hmm.
$50 commission, $100
Correct,
commission,
correct.
$200 commission, right? So I have my free groups and my communities, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but I'm still cashing in, hundreds of dollars. It just
Mm-hmm.
didn't. It doesn't make sense now that I look back at it to start anything like that unless you have experience.
Unless
If
you
you
have
know how to take a
experience.
person,
Mm-hmm.
put a team together, run a team of 100 or 1,000 people that are loyal, they're faithful because they
Mm-hmm.
respect you and you're loyal and you're faithful to your team, sure, you can go out there and make some millions.
Yeah,
But if
that's
it's your
true.
first year or
Mhm.
two, you ain't gonna make
No, it's kind of like hard to assume to take that space if you're pretty new, like, and you don't have the training. I find it's really hard when I first started. I said, "Oh, I have
it.
to train this." I said,
Right,
I thought there is something that will train them, right?"
right.
Then you have to keep like kind of like you're almost like babysitting because you don't have that leadership skill. Like I feel like, oh, I don't have to keep messaging these people. Like, why can't they just do the same thing as me, you know?
Right. Yeah, and that's another thing. I was so mad at people because they wouldn't follow me, but now, almost 9 years later, it's like I wasn't a leader. People don't
Yeah,
follow followers. So
yeah.
I'm a follower. I'm following a mentor. I want to make the money, right? So people didn't see me as a leader. I'm like, why can't they just do what I'm doing? Because you have to be a good enough leader to not only explain it, but set the example in a way where
Mhm.
people can follow it even without even having to say anything. They
Correct,
just see
correct.
it. Boom, boom, got it. Boom,
Yes.
boom, boom. Because you're at that level of leadership where they just see how you carry yourself, what you do, and they're like, got it, right?
Yeah.
At the beginning stages, it's hard for someone to
Mm-hmm.
just come in and be at that level of leadership where they can round up a team of 30 people and all 30 become closers and go make it
Mm-hmm.
happen. Like
Correct, correct.
that's far fetched.
That's far-fetched at the very beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, a lot of people who's trying to do like, like reach the 10K. So a lot of people have done so many things, like they did social media, like some people buy social media strategy, different things, algorithm, either like robot AI, whatever, to get leads or something,
Mhm.
or dancing in TikTok to get more leads.
Mhm.
So what was your tactic or some of the strategy that you have used to attract your leads or few buyers to be able to get to where you are?
Well, my strategy was to get rid of everything you just said. Do not dance on TikTok. Do not present yourself, like you're this hot shot. Do
Mm-hmm.
not present yourself like you're a millionaire. Do not present yourself like you're a guru. You have to be extremely humble and grounded. When
Mm-hmm.
you're grounded, right, the ego can't get to you because you're grounded, right? The ego will make you lie. Oh, I know
Mm-hmm.
this. I can do this. I can help you. You're going to have a very hard time getting that person to buy from you, right? And then victimhood is right underneath being grounded. This is where, oh, the market is messed up, oh, the product, the coaching, blah, 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 victim, right? So you have ego and then you have victim. When you stay grounded, you can
Mm-hmm.
be honest. My marketing strategy was just to reach out to people and find out what they're doing in life. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew that if enough people knew about me and if enough people admired me, and I was just honest with everyone. Hey, man, I see that you sell online. I also sell online. Tell me a little bit about your products. What are you
Mm-hmm.
doing? And they'll tell me, oh, I got this, I got that. Man, that's awesome. I wouldn't try to pitch or anything. I would just engage with them. And then whenever they would see my post, hey, I'm looking for 3 people that want to make $1,000 or $2,000 a day, they would reach out or they will comment. So for me, it was all about professional relationship building, and I think people miss that word. It's called professional relate. They just go to relationship building. I don't want to build a relationship with you unless it's professional,
Mm-hmm. Correct.
right? If we're not discussing money, products, business, right, a vision, your mission, where we're going, I already have friends. I don't need you to be my friend online. Actually, I don't want to waste time online with fake friends. We either doing business,
Mm-hmm.
right, or I'm gone.
Correct.
Um, so when I reach out to people, it was exactly like, hey, I see you doing business online. Can you tell me a little bit about your product? It's
Mm-hmm.
like they'll tell me, I'll tell me, hey, look, I'm not looking to buy or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing my research in the marketplace, and I see that you're a leader. So I was very interested in what you got going on, right? And so I would tell them, I'm not going to buy your product. I'm not going to buy your service.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing some research. But when you
Correct.
do that 30, 40 times a day, after a week, there's 200 new people that know you that are in that in the niche.
In the
So
niche.
even if one or two of them buy, I'm already at 1,000, $2,000. And I
Correct.
didn't pitch anyone. I didn't do this. I didn't knock on the. It's just like, hey, I see what you're doing, man. I really admire your post.
Mhm,
I know you're in sales. I'm also in sales, right?
mhm,
Can you tell me about your product? And when they tell me that, whoa, wow, that's so cool. What made you want to choose that product? What made you want to choose that industry? What made it was this? Oh, wow, man, we have that in common,
mhm.
right? It's like that's the same reason why I did it, right? And then it's like, hey, man, we'll stay connected, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the conversation. And like, yeah, no problem, man. Tell me about your product. Okay, yeah, no problem. I'll reach back out to you later on today. I would
Mhm,
always take it away. I will always pull back. I
mhm.
never really gave information, and I just made myself. You look a little bit more important, so they follow you because they gave you all their information, but you didn't give them any of your information. So now they
Interesting.
follow your post. And
That's
I
a
just went around, finding out everything about everybody, and then just
mhm.
kept going about my way. But I'm not fucking dancing on TikTok. I'm not doing none of that stuff.
George, why are you not dancing on TikTok?
Sorry. It's yeah, I'm not all of that stuff. This funny baloney business and acting like a guru or picking fights with other people to get attention. I'm not doing any of that. It's like, hey, I sell online. I'm an entrepreneur. I see that you do the same thing. What do you have going on? That's it. I mean, straight to
So
the
what
cut
could
to the
you
chase.
comment when people said that if you could start a business without talking to anyone?
Maybe I don't know of any of business like that. Maybe I've never seen a business like that. And I would ask that person how many millions have they made?
Mhm,
Because if they haven't made millions, it's like shut up. You're picking up other people's stories, and now
mhm,
you're spreading misinformation. Like show me the millions that you made, and then sure you could launch a business without talking to anyone, right?
mhm,
But I know that as long as business is run by a person,
mhm,
right? Business will always be
mhm.
personable, and it would be from person to person every single time.
For sure, yeah.
All businesses are run by people, all of them, from McDonald's to Nike to Apple, Windows. It doesn't matter. So as long as there's people involved, business will be done through people. So the
Correct.
whole you don't got to talk to no one, even if that is the case,
Mhm,
that person needs more personal development. Why would you want to live in a world where people are not involved?
correct.
What kind of mission is that?
Exactly.
What kind of purpose living is that? Like, oh, I want to be rich but nobody around and I don't talk to anyone. It's like you're gonna get to do that. It's called death.
Yeah,
When you die,
exactly.
you don't talk to no one. You don't have to knock on any doors. No one comes to you. You can be all alone. But
Mhm,
as long as you're alive, it should be your goal to talk to as many people as possible
correct.
for another reason. I don't know how successful a business that doesn't engage with others will be when we understand that our net worth is our network.
Correct.
So if your network is not talking to people, I know what your net worth is.
Yeah.
Zero.
Zero. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Actually, that's one of the things that I have learned with George is like, the like before I was very scared to really send too much DM. I only DM when somebody like maybe comment on my one of my posts and they're like, hey, send me info. But to
Right.
like message and make connection with people is not something like I was like, oh no, I don't really need to DM people that much. Only if they want me to DM them, right?
Yeah.
So I was like waiting for them to comment. But now actually doing that to just make a connection, just to get to know the people who's adding me, who's in my friends, because there's like 4,000 friends, but I don't know them. But now I
Right.
get to know now my friends. I get to like, oh wow, I didn't know there's a product like that, right? That
Right.
existed in the market, but I would have not know that if I didn't ask that person, like,
Right.
hey, what are you doing? And then now I get to make friends from all over the world. Like that's why some people ask me like, how did you have team up with that person from this world? I said from social media. I get to message
Right.
them and make friends, and then
Right.
they like me and I like them. So
Right, absolutely, and I could my story with when it comes to that. I could also consider it market research. Like you
yeah,
do not want to be in a niche and you don't know what other products are out there, what are the
correct.
services, how much they cost, what is the entry price, what is the exit strategy, who is the owners, what is the average that they're making.
Mhm,
Because if you don't know what your competition, you're not
mhm,
gonna get far. You're all you're gonna do is want to force people into the business. See, when someone comes to me and they tell me something about forex, I know everything.
mhm, mhm,
So I know how to close that deal. They come to me and tell me about crypto. I know everything about
mhm,
crypto, right? They come, oh, I'm in an MLM company. I know everything about that MLM company.
mhm,
I know why, because I speak to so many people all day long and
mhm,
I'm always willing to listen to their product, to their offer. So now I know what people are buying. I know
Right.
what is the price point right now. I know where everyone's moving to. I know if they're going towards AI. I know that they were done with crypto, now they're going to AI. They're done with AI, now they're doing agencies. They're done with agencies, now they're doing coaching, right? So it's like you can follow the ball, but this whole I'm not gonna talk to people, I'm not gonna reach out, I'm not doing cold DMs, I'm not doing cold. You can never beat me. It's impossible. You can
Correct.
never beat me. I can send my little friends to beat you. It's like why? Because they know more information than you. I could send
Correct.
right. I could send some of my closers to go take over whatever you got going because you don't even know where the hit's gonna come from. You don't know what this company has. You don't know what they're charging. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know
Correct.
nothing. You're just like stuck in your head that somehow you're gonna be rich. You're not. Impossible. You will
Correct.
not be rich staying at home, playing with your thumbs, not calling anybody. It won't
Correct.
happen.
Correct. It's good to do the research, guys, to know what's
Absolutely.
out there, you know?
Absolutely. And uh, both times that I've crossed $1 million was from somebody that I met online.
Wow, yes, exactly. Yeah, because you need to make that connection, right?
Absolutely.
If you
All
don't
the
have
money that you have yet to make is in the hands of a person you have yet to meet.
correct, correct.
Everybody should write that down. The money you have yet to make is in the hands of a person you have yet to meet. The money you have right now is based on your circle of influence, the people you have already met. Your income right now is due to the fact of the people that you have around you. The
Correct.
money that you're going to bring on in the future is going to be from people you have yet to meet, people you have yet to work with. Yeah, this whole thing about not talking to people, they might want to get out of the people business.
Correct, correct, correct. We have to talk to people, guys.
It's the people business, right?
Correct. So that's it. Thank you so much for that answer for us, how you are able to attract people. So again, making a connection is very important, guys.
Professional connection. People
Professional
miss that.
connection, not the
Yeah.
other connection.
Because
Professional.
then they're like, oh, how's the weather? And how's this? And how, dude, I don't got time for that.
No, professional, guys. Write it down.
Yeah,
Professional
it's a
connection.
professional connection. Hey, I see that you're doing this online. That's so cool. Because it's not a lie. It's very cool that you're selling online. Marianne, I love what you're doing with, Forex and crypto and your own group. That's so awesome. How long you been doing it? Right? Here we go. 4 years. Awesome. Why would I talk about the weather?
Correct. That's the only thing I think that sometimes people will ask.
Yeah. It's not. It's like, dude, I don't got time for that. It's like,
Yeah,
dude, I got a whole business to run. I got closers.
correct.
I got appointment setters. Right? I just launched my new real estate company. Dude, fucking Google the weather. Google it, bro. Google it. Pull out your phone. It'll tell you the weather.
Yes, exactly.
Seriously, don't call me for that.
Okay. Yes, do not call about the weather.
Yeah.
Professional connection only.
It's a professional connection because the cool thing about this is what if they don't want to be professional? What if they don't care about business?
Correct.
Should you still be there?
No.
There you go. Bingo. So the worst that could happen is you find out where there's no money to be made and there's no connection to be made.
Correct.
Get out of there.
That's true. That's true. So we got it. So we're gonna create professional connection. That is the way you market to be able to hit those 10K marks or beyond. So I'm
Absolutely.
gonna ask you, so a lot of people right now, so either they're just starting a business, right, online, or maybe they've been around for a long time in the online space but never hit the 10K mark. So if today you had to start from scratch today, what would be your game plan?
I'll find somebody I'll find a mentor first thing. I'll find a mentor with the no bullshit attitude. Never go with the hype jobs. If they're flashing money and this and that, that's a hype job. Don't do it. Nobody that's serious. Every real mentor I've seen would tell you, save your money, don't invest in stupid stuff, get serious about your business. That's the people I want to follow, right? If they're like throwing money in there, stay far away from them because they're going to throw your money in there, right? So it's like, rule number one, I would find a mentor that has the no BS attitude because they're not going to play with me and I don't want someone playing with my time or my money. If they don't play with their time, if they don't play with their money, if they don't play with their audience, guess what? They're most likely not going to play with me. But if they're doing this whole thing, you don't got to talk to no one. You're going to be rich. Look at this money. They throw it in there. Oh, huge red flag, right? Huge, because they're on the convincing side, right? So the first thing is get you a real mentor, no BS, strictly business. Number two, pull out $20 and invest it in ChatGPT. Have the paid version of ChatGPT. If you do not have a mentor that has the experience of getting to the millions of dollars, and you do not have AI, you're gonna fall behind. You're gonna fall because there's somebody that does have the mentors that is fully connected to AI that also worships the Lord, connected to God. That's a dangerous combination. They have a mentor, they have
Right.
artificial intelligence, and they have their Bible with them. That
Correct.
person's gonna get. They're gonna go places.
Hmm.
They're gonna go places. They're gonna overcome fear. They're gonna overcome, doubt. They're gonna overcome, suffering, pain. They're gonna be able to get it, and they're gonna be able to do it 100 times faster than everyone else because they'll just have AI do it for them.
Correct. Correct. AI
And
is
if
the best.
anything happens that goes wrong, they have a mentor,
Sorry.
right? If anything happens that goes wrong, they have a mentor that can fix it on the spot. So
Correct.
that would be my perfect combination. I would say a millionaire mentor, paid ChatGPT, and your Bible.
And
That
your
that would
Bible.
be my starting kit. All right, that would be my like if you were stranded on an island and you had to make $1 million, those would be my three.
That's good.
I,
Yeah, and that's a good advice. Sometimes when you start something new, it is very good to have a mentor that knows like that will take you there, right? Who again, just you said that
I
will
don't do
take you
anything without a
seriously.
mentor.
Yeah, that will
Nothing.
take you seriously and stuff like that.
I
And
have a boxing coach. I have a weight training coach. I have a nutritionist, right? I don't do nothing without mentorship. It's stupid to go through life trying to figure it out. I just want to enjoy life. I don't want to figure it out. Matter of fact, the
correct,
Bible
correct,
says you're not going to be able to figure it out. Why would I
correct.
want? I don't want to figure it out. You know how to cook better? Okay, cool. You're my chef. It's like you know
Yes,
how to make money online? Cool. Tell me what to do.
yes,
It's like you know how to drive? Great. You're my chauffeur. It's like you know how
exactly.
to clean? Cool. You're my maid. I don't
Yeah,
do nothing. Like I'm here to enjoy life. I need
yeah,
mentors for everything. I don't want to
correct.
lift the weight wrong and hurt myself. Cool. I have a weight trainer. It's like I
Exactly.
love boxing. I don't want to get knocked out or killed or whatever.
Yeah.
Great. I have three boxing coaches.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
So it's like this whole thing about not having mentors or guidance. Good luck. Good
Yeah,
luck.
no, no, it definitely it's gonna take you a long time to figure things out, right? If you do not have a mentor. I think it's very important because sometimes when we get in ourselves, like for me, for example, like if I like follow my emotion and stuff like that, then if I just listen to myself, which I know is not good sometimes, then it end up it's just like you're stuck again. But then if you have somebody else that's there, like a mentor that tell you, hey, what's happening? Like, why are we still stuck here?
Yeah. Right. And I think we might want to explain that a little bit,
Yeah.
where people could understand it a visual. A mentor comes with a different frequency. You see, when
Mhm.
a person drives the Ferraris, the Lambos, right, private jets, this, and that, their frequency is a lot different. Their frequency is in abundance. Their frequency doesn't attract problems. Their frequency attracts solutions.
Mhm.
When you come into the space, you're probably in survival mode. You probably had to spend 3 to 5 thousand just to even enter the program. You're probably behind on bills. That's why you did it. You probably took out a loan. Your frequency is in survival mode. You don't
Yeah.
understand solutions. You only understand problems,
Correct.
right? So whatever you could come up with in your mind is probably not going to be that beneficial.
Mhm.
You're still going to be thinking at this frequency, at this range. Whenever you tap into your mentor,
Yeah.
the frequency now connects to his or her frequency.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, there are solutions. Why? It's not your solution, it's your mentor's solution. But
Correct.
because it's your mentor, that now becomes your solution.
Correct.
And now you get to keep it forever. And little by little, your frequency will start to change and
Mhm.
get to that person's frequency. And I can share this with you on several other platforms. You want to be a dentist, hang out with 5 dentists. Why?
Mhm.
Because you don't know nothing about dentistry, but if you hang out with 5 of them,
Yeah.
you're going to be the sixth.
Correct.
It's like you want to be a millionaire, hang out with 5 millionaires. Why? Because you don't know nothing about making a million
Yes.
dollars, but if you hang out with 5 of them, you're going to be the
Yeah.
sixth. You want to
Exactly.
be, you want to be a thug, you want to be a gangster, hang out with 5 people on the street that don't
Yeah.
have jobs, you'll end up in jail just like them.
Yes.
Whatever frequency you tune into, that is what you will become. So
Correct.
not having a mentor, you are guaranteeing yourself to stay where you're at. I don't
Correct.
care how much you think. Your
Mhm.
brain could only come up with the solutions of the level of your thinking when you created the problem.
Correct.
So you need higher level thinking for a higher level solution so you can solve the current problem. Most people have same level solutions for the problem. You cannot do that. Your solution has to come from a higher frequency. There's
Correct.
a saying, I think you cannot solve a problem with the same level of thinking you had when you first created the problem.
Correct. Because then you need to have like, sometimes when you have a
Higher.
problem, yeah, like
You need,
higher. Because sometimes when you have a problem, it doesn't like that. Nothing is
you
coming.
created it.
Yeah, you
That's your
created. So
frequency.
how can
Who
you
else
find a
created the
solution?
problem?
Yeah.
You created it. If you knew how to get out of it, you never would have created it.
Correct. Exactly. That's why you need somebody like a mentor that
Absolutely.
will
Who
give
do
you
you
the
think gave you the
freaking.
problem? You did. I didn't give you the problem. You came up with the problem. So what makes you think you have the solution? You
No.
don't. If you had the solution, you never would have been in the problem to begin with.
Correct. Exactly. That
Now,
is
could you come
right.
up with the solution? Yes. Maybe weeks from now, maybe months from now, maybe years from now. Or in 2 seconds, your mentor could just figure it out for you.
Correct, exactly. So that was the game plan. If you would start over again, definitely have a mentor that will guide you, the person that, like will be serious with you, that will not play around with your money, not play around with your time, but actually give you that right solution and higher
Right.
frequency. And of course, AI, very important. We are in the revolution of AI. It's either
Absolutely.
you're gonna learn AI or you're gonna
You're
let
not, yeah, you won't be able to keep up. I cannot keep up with these
Mhm.
19, 20-year-olds right now. And I know 100 times more than them, right?
Yeah,
I visited 32 countries. I've
yeah.
launched several businesses. I've launched 3 different sales floors in 3 different countries, 2 different languages, right? I've done a lot, and I'm not keeping up with these 20-year-old kids because of the AI. They've
AI
never
is
even left.
something.
They haven't even left their mom's home yet. They're still living at their mom's home, but I can't keep up with them creating 300 pieces of content in
Mhm.
60 minutes, right?
Yeah,
In their automation calling 3,000 people within
correct.
60 minutes, and their funnel builder, all like,
Yeah.
dude, this guy built a whole business in freaking 90 minutes.
And AI, yeah. Like today I was just actually watching somebody having a live, and then this lady was trying to build a business and he was about to create a school community. But he said, now I'm gonna build my school community, but it's gonna be run by all AI. I said, well, like, how do you
Right.
do that?
Right.
Like everything, the AI is gonna run everything. It's gonna call the people, it's gonna message the people. I
That's
said,
where we're at.
build
That's
that
what
AI.
yeah, that's what we have, Marianne.
Yeah.
That starts this week. Where all
Oh,
the leads that we
yeah.
have, they're gonna be messaged directly. Yeah, yeah. We
Yeah.
have AI, the
That is
messaging,
an
the
amazing
emails.
thing. AI is just like it's just changing everything.
It
Uh,
changed everything. If you're
yeah,
not with it, you're done. You're
you're
shot.
done exactly.
I
So
had to look. I'm in my mid 30s, and it was so scary for me to make the transition.
Mhm,
Very scary because I have a very big ego about my
mhm.
closing, and I've closed tens of millions of
Yeah.
dollars, and blah
Mhm.
blah 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 blah. Right? So I don't need AI. I got to the point where I either switch or I lose my
Mhm.
whole business. I
Correct.
lose all my income. I lose my team.
Mm,
And it got to the point where I had to pray about it because
mm,
that's how strong my ego is
mhm.
on I didn't want to do something new. The minute I surrendered and I jumped into I was like, I don't want to do anything without AI. I went full time, 100% AI. I was like, it was stupid to stay away from AI.
Exactly.
It cost me the last 2 years of a lot of pain. Now that
Mhm,
I jumped
mhm.
on AI, it's just so fun and exciting to wake up because I know I'm gonna get so much stuff done. And
Correct.
it's
Correct.
just, and I got to download my brain into the AI, so it
Yeah.
thinks like me, speaks like me. My entire coaching and mentorship sessions, I downloaded all the transcripts
Yeah.
into AI, so I'm speaking to myself, but 100 times smarter version than myself.
Yeah, that is an amazing tool. Yeah, AI is just definitely a game changer. So you have to get in with an AI, and of course, read your Bible,
Absolutely.
especially if you believe in God. Like, or if you're not don't believe in God, again, another something that you believe in.
You need
Uh,
some type of spiritual strength. You need to be spiritually strong. You
exactly.
can't be a void, right? You can't be empty. You have to be spiritually strong, mentally strong, and physically strong in order to be a peak performer. And if you're not a peak performer, forget about freedom. Why? Because peak performers, they find financial freedom and time freedom. Everyone else that fell short, they don't get that. Why? You never reached your peak.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else has to tell you what to do and tell you what you're worth and what time to show up. Peak performers, they're spiritually strong and they strengthen that every single day. They're mentally strong, they strengthen that every single day, and they're physically strong. They strengthen that every single day. They
Correct.
watch what they eat, they watch how many steps they take, they watch what they're doing with their body, they watch, what they hear. They watch because they're leaders, they're peak
Mm,
performers. Those people are supposed to be responsible for other people and a lot of money. Why? They're paying attention. They're not
correct.
playing with their brain. They're not playing with their body. They're not playing with their soul. So
Correct.
guess what? They're not going to play with you.
Correct. Correct.
right? So so absolutely, Marianne, I love this. Absolutely, those three things.
I love that. Thank you so much for answering all our questions. But before we end our 10K series, let us know what are you currently doing right now? Anything new? Your program? Where could they contact you or follow you?
Thank you, thank you. My Facebook is here. Obviously, I just shared your live here, and I can put it in the comments. Instagram, J Alfredo N at the end. And the company, I'm the founder of More Leads and Cash Flow. More Leads and Cash Flow is it started as a mentorship program, and we transition over into just providing the full-on experience for people that are they're basically tired of the online game, right? They're tired of the running around from multi-level company to multi-level company, from affiliate program to affiliate program. They're tired of, because most people were lied. They were lied to. They have a remote closer job. They have an appointment setter job. All of those are 9 to 5s in disguise,
Mhm,
right? So what I did was create a company that helps people actually exit
mhm,
the freaking loophole, right? I'm
mhm.
not loophole, the what would
Cycle,
you
I guess.
call it? It's the huh?
The cycle, the
The
matrix.
cycle, absolutely. Exit the cycle because you and I both know. I know people that have been in MLM 6 years. They still don't have the money. I know
Mhm,
people that have been an affiliate for 8 years. They still don't cross the 10K. I know people that have been, working for this person online, this person. They do this, they do that. They still don't even have 100K. So
mhm,
it's like, where's the dream part? What
mhm,
happened to the financial freedom? What happened to the time freedom? 8 years later, you don't have it. 10
mhm,
years later, you don't have it. 12 years later, you're still doing MLM and affiliate and don't have it. So
mhm,
what I created was a business that would help you exit, right, the
mhm,
cipher, that cycle, and
mhm,
enter real professional entrepreneurship. And I
mhm,
tell people, if you don't understand that social media is for you to promote your business and social media is not your business, you're gonna get
mhm,
stuck there. You're gonna get stuck watching reels, creating TikTok dancing videos, trying to convince people for $50. You do not want to be a part of that. And
correct.
I do want to go back to the beginning of this call that I didn't mention. Everything that I said is a great educational platform. But if
Mhm,
you already did a year or two in multi-level marketing and affiliate, you're ready to launch your own business. A
mhm,
lot of people started there because they needed the education.
correct.
But you're not gonna, but now that you have the education, it's like people that stay in college for 20 years.
Mhm,
Why don't you take your degree and go launch your own business?
correct.
They have endless student syndrome. And this
Mhm,
is what happens. People get stuck with these affiliate companies, and 9 years later, they're still there.
yep,
It's like you were supposed to launch your own business the minute you had a quick $30,000 to $50,000.
correct.
It's like, and I see people every month they wake up to pay their bills. You've
Mhm,
been working online 9 years, and
mhm,
you're still working for bill money,
mhm,
right? So what I did, again, the founder of More Leads and Cash Flow, is to help real people that have real desires of freedom to exit that cycle and enter the real business owner world, right? The real business owner world, you have advertisements, you have leads coming to you, you hire people, you fire people, you have an infrastructure, right? You
mhm,
have systemizations, you optimize your business.
mhm,
You're not the one doing the calling.
mhm,
You're
correct.
not the one doing the selling. You're not the one doing any of that. That's the job. You can hire people for that, right?
Mhm,
So that's what my business is about. That's what my company's about. And obviously, we have different levels. Entry level for beginners. Mid level, right? That people that need to make that extra 20, 30K a month. And I like that because as long as you have 2 to 3 good months, you already have 50K put away. You can now go into partnership level where now you have your own business, your own brand, your own logo, right? There's To me, real business is not on social media.
correct.
You won't see anybody that has a real business, on social media marketing. What
Mhm,
they do is use social media to promote their business. Their
correct.
business is not in social media. So I tell people, you're doing it wrong if your business is in social media. Your business should be, think of it like this. Your business should be able to even be a brick and mortar business. If people can't
Mhm,
walk in your office, you don't really have a business. And if
correct.
there's not someone there to greet them and there's not a sales rep and there's not a closer, if you can't go take 2, 3 months vacation and your
Mhm,
business keeps generating the same amount of income, even though you're not there, you left for 3 months, you don't have
mhm,
a business,
correct.
right? What you have is a freaking solo job. You work for
Mhm,
yourself. That's fine, but that's not
mhm.
a business, right? This whole one man army thing, that's false. There's no business there.
Correct, correct. And
So
that's what
that's what I do, Marianne. I
yeah.
appreciate you asking. What were you
Yeah,
saying?
thank you so much for that. And yeah, and that's why I'm very excited actually to have joined MLC. And I am
Yeah,
learning, side by side with George, like learning really to become an entrepreneur.
yeah,
Because in the very beginning, when wanted to start a business online from like 4 years ago, that's what I wanted to know. And that's why probably I invested in so many programs before because I just like you said, actually the first thing that George told me that maybe you're just stuck in the student syndrome. Like
yeah.
you're,
But it's not our fault.
yeah,
This is the thing. We're sold pieces
yeah.
of the puzzle. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll buy into an MLM, and sure, we learn how selling online does. Cool, but
Mm-hmm.
you're not the closer yet.
Yeah.
So where do I go get the closing training? Oh, well, now you got to buy this course. All right. So now I know how selling online works. Now I know how to be a closer. How do I get leads? Oh, now I got to buy a marketing course. I got to become a
Mm-hmm.
professional marketer. So that's already three different courses, right? How to become an
Mm-hmm.
all-star closer, how to become a master marketer, right? How to become a professional sales
Mm-hmm.
pro, right? A professional sales pro. I said pro twice.
Yeah.
And then team building, and that's just the very bottom, right? After that, you're gonna need systems. You're gonna need infrastructures. You're gonna need
Mm-hmm.
payment processors. You're gonna need, there's so much to it that they don't tell us at the beginning. They lie to us and tell us, "Oh, you're going to be an entrepreneur." No, you're not.
Mm-hmm. Correct,
Bringing two
correct.
people to a Zoom call does not make you an entrepreneur. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? And they sell you that. They're like,
Yeah.
you bring two people and you'll find freedom. That's not true, right? It's just
Correct,
not.
correct, correct.
And once you realize that, you start looking for mentors like myself. You start looking for real programs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the real programs are programs that are going to give you an exit strategy.
Correct.
I was taught by my last mentor. I paid $30,000 for him, Nico. He said that your all businesses should be built with the exit strategy in mind first. If you
Mm-hmm.
cannot build the business knowing how you're going to exit it, it's not a business; it's a job.
Mm-hmm. Correct, correct. And I think that's the first thing you also said to me too, when you're building a business is
Really nice.
yeah, and I didn't really know what that means actually. What is the exit
Now
strategy?
you know if you yeah, because think about it. Every MLM company they won't want you to leave. Every affiliate company they don't want you to. Nobody wants you to leave, right?
Yeah.
But as an entrepreneur, I want to leave, and my business should be making money. I want to go to Hawaii. I want
Yeah.
to go here. I want to go there. I
Yeah.
don't want to be working here in the office.
Yeah.
I'm the business owner. That's the whole purpose of being an entrepreneur.
Correct.
So they wrapped up being an affiliate marketer with the word entrepreneur. They
Mm-hmm.
wrapped up being a networker with the word entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
They wrapped up being an MLMer with the word entrepreneur. None of those three are entrepreneurs.
Correct, correct.
Just so we get the facts straight, none of those three are entrepreneurs, right? Sure, you might be a sales rep,
Mm-hmm.
right? You might be a really good closer if you're hosting the Zoom call,
Mm-hmm.
right? You might know a thing or two, but that's far from being a business owner.
Correct, correct.
Do you have an LLC? Do you have business lines? Do you have business credit lines? Do your
Mm.
bankers know you? Like, where are you going with your business? Oh, well, I don't have all that. Well, then what kind of business do you have?
Correct, correct. That's true. And I think that that's what I really wanted. And that's why I joined MLC because I wanted to explore
Right.
the things that I have learned and package it into something that's
Right.
something that I'm really passionate about and see that, I can be proud of it because it's mine.
Right. That's
Yeah.
another thing. How many companies have you been a part of where they just shut off the lights? The company's done. Now you got to look for
So
another.
many companies.
Yeah, me too. So
Yeah.
it's not, I could play victim and be like, oh, they let me down. No, you never launched your business.
Mm,
You did good with them. You made thousands of dollars with them, and then you
mm,
stuck around until they went out of business. Why would you do
correct.
that? Why didn't you take the money you made and go launch your business?
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have the mentorship. They don't have the strategies. They don't have the systems. They can't optimize what they don't know.
Correct, exactly.
Right.
That's why we have, and also MLC is also integrated with AI, which is good.
100%. I love it. And well, that's the thing with well, I don't want to bring that up here, but because I could talk about it forever. I'm super excited. Like I said, I put all my mentorships that I've done in the last half a decade into the memory of AI. So now any of my clients, I could be asleep and they could pull out their phone and talk to the AI, and
Mm-hmm.
they would get the answers from me. My actual mentorships, my actual courses,
Mm-hmm.
it would go to that phrase or that sentence and it'll give it to you. So within 3 seconds. So
Oh,
now
that.
I can educate 10,000 people and I don't even have to wake up.
That is very interesting. Like that's why AI is game changer. Well,
Right.
thank you so much for sharing us about MLC and the vision and how it can help a lot of people who really wanted to have, to become a real entrepreneur, right? If they wanted to be able to make something that they're passionate about into actually reality and not just be stuck in social media. And I think
Absolutely.
that's a good thing, right? I know that there is gonna be a call. I think maybe a lot of people should go into, I think this Friday. Would you like to invite people about the call that you're
Right.
doing?
Oh, absolutely. With Cody, we're having, and see, this is one of the things that we have to learn.
Mhm,
We're having a master class, right? It's a master class for high ticket closers. So if you want to close thousands of dollars in a single day, right? This class, this master class is going to be 100% free, right? Make sure you get the link from Marianne. And it is May 9th, 8 p.m. Eastern.
mhm,
May 9th, 8 p.m. Eastern is going to be with Cody. Cody, he last week he had like a $9,000 cash collected day, about another $20,000 in future sales. He's a seven-figure closer. He's brought in over $1 million. Myself, I brought in tens of millions of dollars,
mhm,
eight-figure closer. So you definitely want to attend that masterclass. If you know me or you've never spoke to me even once, you would know that closing is my passion. I love
mhm,
talking about closing. Closing is that's why I make fun of closers, right? Because you got to become a business owner. Closing is like
mhm,
the last step. If you know how to close $10,000 deals, $20,000 deals, 30, you need to launch your own business. You need to figure it
mhm.
out, right?
Correct.
Instead of collecting 5 to 10% commission, make sure you're the one that keeps the 90% and you pay somebody that 5 to 10%, right?
Mhm,
So we're gonna go over all the closing strategies, how to close six figures in a single month, how to close, $10,000 in a day. What do you have to do to become a master closer? And you know me, I never hold anything back. There's probably going to be some curse words, some excitement. It's going to be a lot of energy, right?
mhm.
And that's it. It's definitely not for everybody, but if you're not soft, it's for you. You definitely want to be there,
All right.
right?
So if you're not soft and you want to be in that
There you
closing
go.
call, a
Yeah,
master class on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, definitely comment in the comment section that
yeah,
you want an invite. So I could
right.
send you a message and invite you to the call on Friday. Other than that, anything else that you want to tell our audience before we finish our live?
Yes, yes. I wanna say that if you're following Marianne, you're definitely in good hands. I love being Marianne's mentor. I've been working with her for months, and it's gonna be very hard to find somebody that's committed not just to their clients and their team, but her husband, her family, her son. Somebody that's just well-rounded and is not faking it. There's very, very few people that can show up as how God made them, and
Mhm.
Marianne is one of them. So I'm very grateful to be working with you, Marianne, and I know that anybody that joins your team, you're gonna do amazing. You're gonna do great. So Marianne, you've been doing this 4 years, right?
Yes.
All right, because you did really good with this interview. So
Okay.
that's all I wanted to say. So thank you so much for having me here, Marianne. And if you're following Marianne, you're in good hands. I can guarantee that, and I could definitely give my approval on that one.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Marianne.
so much for that kind words. Thank you guys for watching the second episode of 10K series. So make sure to like this live. Tell us what you have learned from it, like any the value. Tell us where you're coming from in the comment below. Say hashtag live or hashtag replay. I would like to know your feedback. And again, stay tuned for the next episode. It's actually going to come out on Friday. See you guys
All right,
later.
thank
Bye.
you. Bye.